Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the James Kennedy podcast. I hope you've all been good. If you haven't gotten around to listening to last week's episode with the brilliant Stretchko Horvat, please go back and listen to it. That guy dropped some truth bombs that we all need to hear right now. It was a fascinating and important conversation that's got a ton of food for thought for the future that lies ahead of us all. And for those of you who are already fans of the awesome Stretchko Horvat, he actually dropped a podcast exclusive. Something I did not know is that he's actually got a background in punk rock as well. Actually played in a punk rock band back in the day who supported Converge. So that's pretty awesome. So go and check that out if you want a little insight into the guy's life that you may not have known about. But speaking of politics and speaking of rock and roll, we've got both of those things on the podcast for you guys today. Because we are joined by Mario Radetzky from the awesome German band Blackout Problems. Now, we actually recorded this conversation a few weeks ago before the band was due to start their tour with previous podcast buddies Enter Shikari, but I wanted to save the conversation to nearer the release date of their new album, Riot, which is coming out this very Friday the 23rd, and they are currently right in the middle, neck deep, of their incredible tour with the amazing Enter Shikari. So, I wanted this conversation to drop at this particular time because I want to amplify all the excitement that the band have got going on so that you guys can rush out and buy the album. But do bear in mind that when this conversation was recorded, the tour hadn't yet started, and that tour is very much underway as we speak. We're going to get into the making of the album, the meaning behind the lyrics, the music industry, life as a touring rock band, all that good stuff. So bear in mind the time difference between recording this conversation and the time that it's coming out. But otherwise, enjoy my conversation with the awesome Mario Radetzky from the brilliant band Blackout Problems. Mr. Radetzky, how are you, sir?
Hey, James. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, dude, and it's great to speak with you. You got loads of stuff that we got to delve into. You got an amazing tour coming up with the badasses in Enter Shikari. You got a new album coming out called Riot, which I like the sound of just by the title, and loads of stuff going on. So, man, give us the lowdown, dude. What's happening? What's going on?
Oh, yeah. So I think for the moment, it feels like there's nothing going on because the tour has not started and the release has not started. But on the other hand, there's so much going on. And we're really happy to have this fourth record right now. Riot is going to be our fourth one, which is unbelievable. We've been going for like a long time now, I think, as a band. And recording. I mean, I still remember vividly recording our first record, and now that's the fourth one, and it's a first in some parts because that's the first one that I've produced myself, and it really feels fresh, and we still feel like a newcomer band that's just about to start and about to maybe to grow a little fan base or whatever. Let's see what happens.
Well, it's interesting you say that, man, because, you guys have been around. You're 4 albums deep at this point. You've got a wicked fan base. You've got a badass tour with Enter Shikari coming up, a new record coming out with Sony. So, I mean, you're not a new band getting off the blocks by any means. You're crushing it right now. But I wonder if it feels like that because on this new record, it's a self-produced album. And I know from my own experience that when you're producing an album yourself and you're aware of all of the moving parts behind the scenes and the build-up and the strategies and the tactics, it kind of takes some of the magic out of what is otherwise a roller coaster ride, Is that how it feels for you, or is it the other way around?
Honestly, it's a little bit the other way around because producing it yourself the first time is so exciting, and it's that I feel like there's so much magic in that, and I'm way more excited about releasing the music, and I'm a little bit nervous about that as well, and especially with our last single, we just a few weeks ago we released a song called Funeral, and I think that's the poppiest track that we've ever done, and it's the most positive track as well on a very dark record, I have to say. I think that Riot is really dark, and there's a lot of negative shit going on, and I get very personal and political at the same time. And it's, I talk a lot about stuff that I would probably tell nobody, but in the music you can do that. You can open up, and I'm a bit like an introvert, but in the music it's like my spot where I can be honest with myself and to everybody else in a way that I couldn't be in normal life. And so this time I think we went in really deep, and it feels so magical now. It doesn't really take anything away, especially knowing each and every part about the record is so it's very intense, and it's very interesting to record your own stuff. I mean, as you know, probably, there's on the one hand, but it's maybe it's just something inside of Blackout Problems that's for me that is different than to any other producers, because I do know each and every part of the record, and I did most of them myself. But on the other hand, there's still so much going on that I don't understand. Especially, have you ever written a song and you have no idea how that came about?
All the time.
At the end of the day, that's like, wow, where did that came from?
Yeah.
And that's something to me that's very interesting, because being a producer for the first time, I really try to leave my body and take a look at our band in a very take an outside look on the band, just to get what it is that I was trying to achieve with this record. And I came up with the idea that our music the lyrics are very important for us, for our music to I don't know, to get intense. I need intense lyrics, and I really need to feel that. But still, there's so much coming from my subconscious that I sometimes have no idea what that came from, and start writing, and then there are lines where I think like, whoa, I would never say that in a normal conversation, probably. So.
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you there, man. I mean, as a fellow introvert, yeah, that's one of the rewards that we get as artists, isn't it? So we have an outlet for that side of our personality that we don't often get to show in real life. And also, like talking about some of the things that we talk about in our songs is not always appropriate, in normal daily life. So yeah, we're really fortunate that we have that outlet, I suppose, which so many people don't. So with regards to that outlet and this particular record and the things you're talking about, let's jump into that. The album is called Riot. Does the world need a riot right now? And if so, why?
I think it has a lot of riots at the moment. And just let me tell you that we thought a lot about this title Riot, because it has some negative connotations that we didn't really mean. We thought that we have this one line on the record that says, "Let's start a beautiful riot," and we really try to find the positive inside of the negative, and to for example, in Germany, there's a very big shift to the right at the moment, political wise, but on the other hand, there are millions on the street right now that demonstrate just against that. They riot against that. They don't riot, they demonstrate very peacefully, but they are on the street, and they show their support for diversity, they want to live in a country that is not dominated by the right wing. Let's just politely call them assholes. And you don't have to
be polite. You can call them assholes.
Yeah,
right-wing assholes.
Yeah,
we've got them here too, man.
Yeah, that's a problem that we have not only in Germany, not only in the UK. We have that problem in the world right now, and I mean we had that a while ago, and it didn't really turn out that good. So we should have learned from history, but turns out we didn't. I think, I don't know. I think we live in very, very, very interesting times now, and if you'd asked me that like 15 years ago, when I was just in school and I was thinking about the times that we live in, I thought that our parents or our grandparents, they lived in interesting times, and we don't, because everything's safe, everything's good. But I feel like after leaving school, I feel like I just woke up to the world in a way. I thought that racism was something ancient, something from the books, but if you walk around with open eyes and open ears, you find that everywhere. And there's so much that we have to educate ourselves to see these things, and to see how have we been brought up, and what are our values that we have, and what are the... Sorry, sometimes I'm a bit lost for words, because I'm not a native speaker, but I do my best. Sometimes it's just you have to find out where do we stand right now. And at the moment, I think there's loads of stuff going on. I mean, there's there was the pandemic that really shook us. There's now the war in Ukraine. There's Gaza happening right now, which is horrible. It's just horrible. And on the other hand, we have so much crisis, and we have the climate crisis going on, and there's so much going on, and I think that we need some riots, but we should take care that these riots are positive and they really change something, because if you get too negative about things, you're not really affecting the world in a good way, I think. And I really try to stay positive. I may be far from being the most positive guy in the world, but I do my best. And I think that in our music, I tend to get pretty negative at times, but there's always a spark somewhere.
Love it, man. Yeah, I think that's a very important point to make, because the world is bleak enough as it is right now. It's really important as us as artists and people with a platform and an outlet to actually highlight these things. But at the same time, like, people need a fucking break from it as well, so to have that spark and that lightness that you're talking about, to add that balance and the entertainment value as well, I think is very important. And it helps to deliver the message as well, because, a riot like you're talking about can be a positive thing, because a riot symbolizes action. It symbolizes getting up and doing something about the ills of the world, rather than just being pacified by apathy, which can sometimes happen when things just get too bleak and too heavy. So I think that balance really helps the cause there,
Yeah, let me just add the other side of things, because that was like the political side, but there's also a personal side to that. And the personal riot that I went through in the last 2 or 3 years, and that my bandmates went through in the last 2 or 3 years, was pretty big as well, because we felt like this is a good title, because it not only you can not only talk about a riot in a political way, but also in a personal way. We had to like master things within ourselves. And there's I did a therapy for the first time ever, because I just ran against the wall, working too much, and I was totally burned out, and I had to like get over that and progress a little and change my change my perspective on things. And I really had to work on myself as a human being, and take a look reflect on me, and find out who I was and who I want to be, and stuff like that also happened, because we in 2020 we just lost our sense of purpose in a way, when we couldn't play any shows anymore. So everything got shook up, and it was a pretty intense time for us, and we kind of lost ourselves in that. But writing this record brought us back together, and writing this record was an anchor for me to have something that I was working on, and producing the record was a big goal that I wanted to achieve. So I think that the record not only has like this big worldly themes, it also has a very personal side to it. And if you listen to the record from start to finish, you kind of go through my progress as well as a person, and that was important for me, because the record starts very aggressive. Have you listened to the record yet?
Yeah, I was lucky. I got a sneak peek from the PR. So it's a fucking banger, man. Honestly, it's badass.
Oh, thank you so much, man. So you've heard, like, the first song starts with I want to know more about the tears on your pillow, and that's where I thought, let's do the deep dive into personal shit, and let's talk about things that that really are that's. Let's talk about the things in my from my subconscious, or from me, inside of me, that I really need to get out. And the last song, when the last song stops, there's this very beautiful nature sounds that I recorded, and that was actually one of the first things I've recorded for this record. I was in Austria and just spent a few nights on a cabin on a mountain. And
nice.
In a cabin on a mountain. That's the way I wanted to put it. And I've just recorded some birds and chirping and stuff like that, and cows, and that's that's the thing that ends the record, and it's very it feels like I've talked about and I've tackled problems and I've made some progress, hopefully, and I now want to walk away from that, and not walking away from that without tackling these problems, but I want to talk about them for 11 songs, and then at the end of song 11 I want to like get on a horse and ride into the sunset.
Love it. Yeah, fucking right, man. Hell yeah. Yeah, I love it, man. Brilliantly put as well. I mean, I totally agree. I think, like, you know, in terms of my own personal experience over the past few years, and I think the collective personal experience over the past few years has been a strange and turbulent one, hasn't it? You know, coming out of the pandemic, which was just weird, and all the political stuff that's been happening since then has been kind of crazy. You know, we're seeing the growth of the right, which you mentioned earlier, making a big comeback as well. And I think that's normally a symptom of growing senses of disillusionment and people feeling powerless and not having an outlet for their anger. I think these are all signs that society is feeling increasingly disconnected from any sense of empowerment or purpose. And I think at that level, you know, like the personal experience that people are going through kind of mirrors the political experience. You know, we look at the nature of our politics around the world right now, and then you see that reflected in the personal struggles that people are going through as well, and the crises that people are going through. You know, these are turbulent times, man. So I think the fact that you're highlighting both sides of that coin on this record, I think is going to resonate with people on so many different levels.
Yeah, I love that you say that, and I just wanted to add that I was really sick. I was really sick of hearing about the pandemic for a while, and I didn't really want to talk about that, and I really didn't want to talk about what it's like being a musician in that stuck in this situation. But right now, like a few years later, and we've overcome that now. In parts, I think it's so interesting what a big effect that had on us, and how that's now rooted in our systems for I think forever maybe. And it really shaped a lot of music and a lot of, you know, how do we put out stuff, and you know, it's just shaped our lives in a very, very interesting way. And yeah, I'm very happy that it's over for now.
Hell yeah. I mean, how has that affected the music industry in Germany? Because we had the double whammy over here with, obviously, we had the fallout and the hangover from the pandemic, but we also then got hit with Brexit and all the bullshit that came with that, which is, by the way, not something that I supported. But bands now in the UK have got to try and navigate this kind of new unknown world of like the carnets to Europe and the visas and the 90 and 180 days rule and all this bullshit. And that's just compounded the problems that we inherited from the hangover from the pandemic, whereby, you know, now you can't get a bus because everyone's touring, so the prices are through the roof. And obviously we're limited by what crews and things we can get domestically. So the industry over here has been hit quite hard on several different fronts, you know, unless you're, you know, in that 1% that is kind of unfazed by any of this. But how are you guys feeling things like that over in Germany or on the mainland? I mean, are you still feeling the effects of the pandemic?
Yeah, let's just talk about Brexit just for a second, because the carnet that you've mentioned, we have the same problem now. Going to the UK is a pain in the ass now, because last time we went to the UK was in October, I think, last year, and we supported Noah Fins for 6 dates. So we had to photograph every single piece of equipment, each and every cable, the gaffer, everything, you know, everything. Yeah. And that's the gaffer. That's not an English term, right?
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
just tape.
Yeah.
You know
Gaffer
what I mean?
tape, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes mix that up, you know. Yeah. But yeah, these rules that we have now, filling in the carnet and stuff, that's so hard, and it wastes money for us, you know.
Big time. Yeah.
We needed someone to come to our studio to look at each and everything, and they checked everything. They checked the numbers on the guitar, and they there was one serial number that was wrong on one guitar, so we had to, like, we thought we can't take this guitar now, and
yeah,
and they make troubles and problems that we really don't need at the moment. So please get back into the EU if you can.
Oh man,
it would make life very much easier for us now.
Oh, you're telling me? Yeah, well, we should, but we can't because half of our population are dickheads. It turns out.
Yeah, that's you know what's funny? There was the first Brexit date happening somewhere in, I think, 2019. Is that right?
2016.
Yeah, I think that Brexit had like this, or there was the vote or anything. I don't remember. I don't recall that, but we played in the UK at that moment, and we were supporting Royal Republic from Sweden, and everyone was a bit like nervous about what's happening now.
Right.
And that was just the night when we left from, I think we went from London to Paris or something like that, or to Amsterdam. So we crossed the border. Everyone was like, we need to cross the border before 12 because then
we can't get over.
Nobody knows what's happening now. And basically nothing happened, I think.
Yeah.
But then there was the real Brexit date, and that was in 2020, I think. And we played Manchester again. So,
wow.
So we were in the UK again. There was a Brexit party going on next door where we played.
Jesus.
And or fuck off Brexit was the name of it.
Right. That sounds more like it.
Yeah. Any reason to celebrate, you know?
Any reason to drink, I think, is more our problem.
But it was every time we're in the UK, you know, it's fascinating. It's so we are, people are so nice to us, and we just love going there. And that's probably why our next tour starts in October. We'll be on tour in October, November, December, I think. And most of I think the UK is the country where we play most of the shows. So yeah, we really love playing.
Why is that? I mean, you've got all of Europe, you know, right there on your doorstep. You know, you can play France and Spain. I mean, is there a thing with the UK? Obviously, I don't know because that's all I know. I live here, you know. But when I've toured in Europe in the past, I've had the opposite thing. I've always been like, oh man, the crowds in France were amazing. We had a great time in Italy, and I come back home and it's like, oh, fucking UK. So is it just because I'm from here, or what's it like for you guys coming over to play here?
Yeah, maybe. That has something to do with that. I mean, for us as a German band, we've always been influenced big time by English-speaking bands from the US, from Canada, from Australia, and from the UK, obviously. And I mean, we listen to a lot of UK bands, and for us, singing in English, being from Germany, and then listening to English-speaking bands all our lives, and then playing some shows there is like, it's mental, and it's very nerve-wracking on the one hand, because I really I have a big respect for any crowd, but now in the UK everyone understands each and every word, so my lyrics are exposed. I'm like, it's different playing in France. In France, you know, you always have some people in the crowd that do not understand each and every word that you sing, but in the UK it's like singing in German in Germany, and that's to me, that's very interesting and very inspiring. And yeah, I tend to get nervous a bit, but I really love that. And the feedback that we get, I think, in the UK is pretty good. So it's better than we thought it would be. So we love coming back, and we just I'm really looking forward to playing our own shows there. And we did a couple, and we did a couple of support gigs, and yeah. It's just great to I feel like people really, and that's interesting because you maybe have a different point of view there, but I feel like people really love music over there.
100%. Yeah. It's the one thing we do well. We don't do much well. Our food sucks. Our weather sucks. Our politicians suck. But we do music really, really well.
Yeah. You know, about the weather and about the food, I probably disagree a little bit, because I've had like amazing food and amazing weather in the UK. I won't argue with the politician side of things. But I feel like Yeah, I love it there. I just love it there. I could live in Brighton. I could live in
Wow.
yeah. There's so many cities that I'd love to spend time in. And going from one city to the other, you have something in the UK that we really love. Sometimes the navigation system sends us over these weird routes where we see these little towns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I love that. It's so beautiful. And on the other hand, what's it called? If you want to take a rest on the street, the gas stations in the
the service station, right? Yeah,
the service stations. They're like a big mall each and every time. You know, there's different food options. And have you ever been on a service station in Germany?
Yeah, man, I had the exact experience that you're describing. Like, we'd just come out of Italy, which was carnage, and the first service station we came to in Germany was like an airport. It was fucking ginormous. They had every type of food there.
Really?
They had showers, big bathrooms for like €5 for as long as you like. It was amazing. It was civilized. It was huge, and I was like, oh man, like this is what touring in Germany must be like. It must be like this everywhere.
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought all of Germany was like.
No. That's just not the case. It's to me it's totally different. I mean, maybe that's just the different perspective that we have, and maybe it's just for us it's a bit more exciting to be over there, and for you it's more exciting to be over here. That's because each and every time I'm in Italy, I love the stations as well, because there's the best coffee. That's the best coffee, and I love the Italian espresso, of course. I mean, who doesn't?
Oh yeah. Isn't that the coolest thing about being in a band, though? I mean, like, there's so many struggles in this game, like there's financial instability, there's a mental health problem, there's a lot of hardships and struggles that come with this industry, especially now when, people aren't buying music the same as they used to. But that's the real reward, I think, is the fact that we get to see the world, we get to meet people from all over the place, have these adventures, have these stories. I mean, you can't put a price on that.
Yeah, and I totally forgot about the negative side of things. Now talking about stations with you, I really love doing what we do, and I really have great respect for the crowds, and I really love playing music with the guys, and especially with our crew, because we're not professionals. We're just friends who do that, and we grow up together, and we progress together, and that's maybe we turn into professionals a little bit more, and a little bit more here and a little more there, but if you break us down, that we're just a bunch of guys who really love each other, and that go on tour together, and we try to do our best, and we really put a lot of effort into the things that we do, but it's never been about having a master plan. It's never been about anything else than just expressing yourself, expressing your feelings, making music, making art, making some visuals, artistic things, and with all the music videos and the photo shoots and stuff like that, we always tend to like love the creative part of things and stay creative, and don't change in any way that we don't want to change in. We've changed over the last few years, but I look at that more as we've progressed a bit. We don't try to fit into anything at the moment. We just try to make the best version of Blackout Problems that we can make, and that has nothing to do with like being mainstream or being a big hit on TikTok, obviously, or anything like that. That's not what our band is about. Our band is about emotions and about expressing feelings and expressing things and saying things on stage that we feel like saying. And we've never had a master plan, and that's maybe because it still feels like just starting out after being in this band for more than 10 years now and having released 4 records. So every time we did a record and we started a new one, we wanted to break with everything that we've done before. First record was called Holy. After Holy, we did record called Chaos. When we released the first single of Chaos, we tried to release the biggest shocking song that was so different from everything that was on Holy. That was just like, we really wanted to show that there's another side to us that you probably haven't seen yet, and we want to show that, and we just want to do what we want to do. And with this record, for the first time, I could look upon these old records, Holy, Chaos, and Dark, and look at these records and really be a bit like proud is probably the wrong word, because but yeah, I was a bit proud on these records, and I could like accept that I've seen these records, and I thought that's a part of us, and now we don't have to break with that. We can pick and choose songs and styles and sounds and expressions and things that we've did in the past and just implement it into our 2024 version of our band. And because we are all these things and all these songs, they belong to us, and that's our story, and we don't have to break with that.
Yeah.
But of course, the new record sounds nothing like any other record in a way. But on the other hand, it's like, if you listen to all our records, you end up here, and it's like, yeah, this journey makes sense, I think. And let's see where it takes us next.
I love that. Yeah, that's the cool thing. When you get to look back over your back catalog, you can see your own personal journey. Like, I can look back at albums I did years ago and be like, I can remember where I was at that time. I can see I'm not that person anymore. There's that growth, Yeah, it's really interesting. Again, it's one of the jewels that comes with what we do, I think, isn't it? We get to have that journal of our own personal journey, through music. So I think it's a beautiful thing, man. Well, we've got to talk about the record, because that's what we're here to do, and I've got to let you go soon. I feel like I could talk to you for ages about service stations and politics and stuff like that, because I think we're on the same wavelength there. But we've got to talk about the record, man. So when you say it was a self-produced album, do you mean the whole band, or was it just literally just you doing the whole thing?
That was me doing it, but I had help, and we have a co-producer and engineer who's called Karan. He's been helping us record our records for a while now, and he's been with us on this record. And I had Geister. They do like the programming and synth stuff, so that's a thing that I've got help with. And and we had a great mixing engineer. Obviously, I didn't do that myself. Moritz Enders, and that was the team.
Awesome. Yeah, Mo, I think that's a great way of doing things. That's the way I do my records as well. At some point, you've got to, like, if you're self-producing and you're aware of all the finer details of every song, at some point, I think it's really healthy to pass it over to somebody else who can kind of do the mixing and mastering and get a second set of ears on it. Because otherwise you can just tie yourself up into never-ending rabbit holes of perfectionism, or you can oftentimes make things worse as well. I think sometimes it's just having that outside perspective really makes a difference. So it sounds like you've got a great team there, and the quality of the album certainly demonstrates that. But did you like that process? Is that something you think you'll do again, or was it just more work than you needed?
I really love doing that, because having the mixing engineer that we have is Moritz Enders. He's amazing at what he does, and he's like the last quality check station or something like that for me. And it was a goal to work to record everything that good, so I could pass it over to him. And he's been mixing a lot of great records and a lot of like really big records. So I knew that at the end of the day, it's going to sound good. But on the other hand, he's not the kind of mixer who goes into detail and changes all your guitar sounds. And he just takes the DIs and reamps that or anything. He just takes what you give him. And I don't want to go too far into detail, but I didn't give him any DI tracks for the guitars at the end of the day, because he could take the DI tracks and reamp the guitars and make a whole different sound, but I just bounced stereo files and passed it pass these over to him because I knew that he's going to mix the record analog. So he's going to have something like 24 tracks, I think, at the end of the day. And I passed him something. I've had these projects of mine were really big. I've had more than 120 tracks, I think, on the songs, which is pretty common at the end of the day. If you record a band and do synth stuff and record a lot of guitars, I bet that other bands have like 200 to 300 tracks.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah,
that's
which
crazy.
is crazy, of course. But yeah, I really loved having him as a mixing engineer, and I really love that he respected my rough mixes. So at the end of the recording and producing progress, I did a rough mix inside of my DAW, send it over to him, and send over all the tracks, and the end result really sounded like the rough mixes I did, just a little better, or not a little, sometimes pretty much better. But he really respected the vision that I had for the record, and that was something that that was something that I was eager to do. I had a vision for the record, and I had a vision for our band, and I wanted us to sound very in our own way, very sorry, I'm lost for words again. I wanted us to sound very unique. That's what I want to say.
Right.
And
well, you got that. You definitely got that, man.
Thank you. And that, with unique, I mean that I don't want us to sound like the perfect band. I really want to take tracks and record guitars that sound different, and that not sound like the perfect AC/DC guitar, anything like that. We don't need that.
Yeah,
we
you want the rawness.
The
realness. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to. I've recorded most of the guitars just into my interface, and then just recorded everything like without any amps, without any big microphones or anything. I just put on some reverb, and that's it. So we have this one single called Gloves. That is a pretty important song for us, because we have Raul Reynolds of Enter Shikari on that track, which is like a life goal for us as a band. And all the guitars are just the I tracks, where I've put some reverbs on them. So that's...
Well, it sounds amazing, man. And that's the way I prefer to do things. That's the way I think makes sense. You just shove it into the side of a fuzz pedal, get the sound right at source, get it right once, and then you have to live with it. That is the sound. None of this scrolling through menus for days on ends, or, 1,000 possibilities for changing it afterwards. Nah, just get it right and then live with it. That is the sound. That's the personality of the track, warts and all, and to have something like a bass line like that, and then to have Rao on top, that's a real magic formula, I think, right there.
Yeah, that made me nervous big time. But
I bet.
His part is just crazy. He sent me over this part, and the first take that he sent us is the one that's on the record.
Wow.
Because we were blown away by that, and he has so much energy in his voice.
Yeah, he's such a dude, man. And that segues perfectly into the next question I want to ask you, because you're actually going out on tour with the mighty Enter Shikari in February. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. In about, I think, 4 weeks or something like that. Yeah.
Wow, man. Are you stoked? Are you ready?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready, but I'm so stoked. I'm so stoked because we've been on tour with Shikari in the UK and in Germany and Belgium before, and these shows were pretty small. And now the shows are massive, and I think that the production that Enter Shikari do, it's always amazing. And I've been a fan for a long time, and I've actually once traveled to the UK to see them in London at Ali Pali.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it was in 2017. We were 4 guys just being the biggest Shikari fans, and we thought let's do this trip, let's see them in their hometown, and it was mind-blowing. And
they're amazing.
The production was so much bigger than the production they used to have in Germany, which was just great to see. But the shows in Germany are getting bigger and bigger now, and they've sold out the Palladium in Cologne,
Right.
which holds more than, like, I think it has a capacity of 4,500
Right.
people or something like that, which is massive. So
They're crushing it.
yeah, I think the production is going to be really, really good on this one, and the last records that they did were perfect. So yeah, I love them. And the best thing about meeting them was that they were so nice to us, and they really, I don't know, they were so nice and really respected us, and yeah, made it possible for us to have the best time ever. So being the opening band, that's they were really respectful, and yeah, I'm gonna take that away from these tours. I really and
They know how to do it, man. I mean, like, Rao was on the podcast before the new album came out, because for the whole world. So he was on the podcast just before that came out, and they were talking about their tours and everything. So it's like a full circle moment that I'm now talking to yourself just before your record comes out, before you go out with them touring that album. But Rao actually told me something that you said earlier about they don't plan to be, the biggest band. They're not worried about, climbing the ladder or being a stadium band. They're just focusing on doing their thing, doing the best job they can to give a kick-ass show to their fans and do the best they can to express their music, and that's all they think about, and it's doing them great because they're crushing it. So I mean, the fact that you're now going out with those guys again, I see a very similar journey happening for you guys.
That's so funny that you say that, because looking upon Enter Shikari, it's like they really seem like a band that have everything under control and planned out. I know. And yeah, they seem like a band that has a master plan, but yeah, maybe it's sometimes good to have no master plan at all, because then you can be surprised each and every day and see where you end up. And sometimes that's maybe even better than anything you've ever expected, because we've never expected to be on a lineup like that. We've also have Fever 333 as the second support band, which is amazing as well. And we like this. We feel like we feel like just starting out now, going on this tour and then releasing our own tour after that, or maybe even before that. I think we'll be releasing new tour dates in a few weeks now, and
right.
There's going to be a lot of UK on that, as I mentioned. So hopefully we'll see you in person there.
Yeah, come to Wales. Have you played in Wales before?
We've played Cardiff.
Right? Yeah, that's my hometown. Right, perfect.
Oh, nice one. We played at the Garage. No, not
the Globe.
The Globe, yeah, sorry. Not the Garage, yeah.
Yeah, the Globe is a good one, man. Yeah, well, come back, dude. We'll have you anytime. You guys are always welcome in Cardiff.
Oh, it was so good to play Cardiff. I mean, we've never been there, obviously, and that's just what you've mentioned earlier. It's great to see new places and to get to meet new people, and we enjoy that every time.
But you've got a whole year of that coming up, man, because you guys are playing everywhere with a new record to celebrate and play the hell out of, new songs and talking about issues that are going to resonate with people on the personal level and the political level. The album kicks absolute ass. Riot is out on February the 23rd through Sony Records. People can check you out wherever, like, you're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you're all over the place. It's just simply Blackout Problems, I think is the handle. They can go to blackoutproblems.com, where they can pre-order the new record. It's available in gorgeous, stunning red vinyl with an awesome hardcover book as well, full of lyrics and artwork and photos and all that good stuff. Man, you got a great year ahead of you, dude, and much deserved as well, because you got a kick-ass record. It sounds amazing. The music rocks. The lyrics are really relevant and timely. And just wish you nothing but the best for the year ahead, man. And what a fucking year you got coming.
Thank you so much again for taking your time and listening to our record. It's really it's an honor being on the podcast. And anytime you're in Germany, please let us know.
100%. And likewise, dude. Keep us posted. Maybe I'll see you at one of the shows. But you got to go. So thank you so much for this. Mario Radetzky from the amazing Blackout Problems. Best wishes, bro. I will speak to you really, really soon.
Thank you so much. See you, man.
See you, bro. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Best wishes with everything. Mario Radetzky, ladies and gentlemen. Put it together for him. So there you go. What a dude. As we speak, Mario and Blackout Problems are neck deep in touring with Enter Shikari. They're already kicking it. So all of the details you heard there about the tour and the live show and the plans, they're underway with that as we speak. But the album will be out in 2 days' time. If you're listening to this on Wednesday, which is when this podcast episode drops, the album comes out on Friday, the 23rd of February. It's available to pre-order right now, but you might as well just, pick the bad boy up straight away. It'll be available everywhere. You can get it from their website at blackoutproblems.com. You can go and see them live. They're playing absolutely all over the goddamn place. There's no excuse not to go and see their insane live show. You can follow them on their social media pages at Blackout Problems. The new record rocks. I'm really privileged to have had a sneak listen to the thing. So take it from me, you need to get that in your ears and in your life. The album is called Riot, but they've also got 3 previous records which you can go and check out, and you should as well. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. I hope for all you Blackout Problems fans, it was an interesting insight into the background to this record, the production, the lyrics, and the thought process that went into it. And if you're new to the band, I hope I've just introduced you to a kick-ass new soundtrack for the rest of your 2024. Before I bid you farewell, I'm going to ask you one more time, have you subscribed to the podcast? You must be getting bored to fucking tears of me saying it right now. It's the same drill every time, but all you got to do is click a button, man. The podcast is free. There's no advertising. Just click follow, click share, click subscribe, click like, give me a rating, whatever you got to do. I'm going to keep nagging you till every single last one of you does it. I'll be back next week with another awesome guest. In the meantime, have a great week. Get blasting the Blackout Problems' new album, Riot, and I shall see you on the flip side. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Love you loads.